Hey everybody, welcome back to The Pressing Matters. I'm Scott. Thank you for tuning in today, and thank you for your support. Today I'm going to be talking a bit about Surrealistic Pillow from Jefferson Airplane, the classic Summer of Love icon, just an iconic record. And I've had it in my collection for many years. I had a stereo at the beginning. I picked up a mono in recent years, and damned if I can't find it. I looked through probably 1,000 records just over the weekend trying to locate my original mono, but to no avail. So it's somewhere, but I don't have it for this this segment. What I do have is the new MOFi mono, and I have the Steve Hoffman Stereo. Now obviously we can't do a comparison between sound quality between the two because they are two different mixes, but I can give you my impressions of, is the stereo as effective as the mono, and so forth. I do want to give a shout out to Norman Mazzi, for encouraging me to pick up this MOFi mono. In his writings and postings and videos, he's mentioned it many times. And the last time I was on a thread with him, in the MOFi thread, I think it was on Steve Hoffman forum, people were saying, there's 36 left. And I was like, oh, it may not get repressed again. They're probably at the end of their license. I was like, oh. So I went into Music Direct. I typed in an amount, 25. There was 25. Then I typed in an amount, 30. There was not 30. So I was like, okay, this is going down fast, and it might be because of this thread. So I bit the bullet and bought it. So that is how I was able to acquire this. And I had thought about it for a long time, but I just had put it off. I figured it'd be around for a while. Hopefully it'll come back. I think it is temporarily out of stock and awaiting a repress. So, but my time with this music, at least the singles, I remember being a kid. Now, when this came out, I was, under 10 years old. So, I wasn't a hippie in the Summer of Love. I was a little too early for that, or a little too late for that, I should say. But I embodied the spirit of it, and I loved the psychedelic music that was coming out. And I particularly loved both White Rabbit and Somebody to Love. I had never heard anything so vibrant and fresh and exciting as Somebody to Love. I thought it was a magnificent single, and I bought the single when I was a kid. I mean, I even remember we used to put on some shows. I had a couple of friends in the neighborhood, girls, and they would often do the backup for me for a single that had a male vocal. And for this one, we put one of the girls in front, and I was in the back up on Anyway, those shows were a quarter. You really should have seen them. They were really quite cute. But we also did, I'm thinking back now, we also did Venus. She's Got It, yeah, baby. And the rapper. Call him. Of course, I was a lead singer for that one. And the girls were in the background. So anyway, in recent years, I said I need to have a definitive copy of this. And one of the things that I thought about was, and this is before I really came to be educated on mono versus stereo for records of this period. It was with Sgt. Pepper and Piper at the Gates of Dawn, Pink Floyd, that I really realized that mono was often preferred for these records. And my thinking prior to that was psychedelic equals stereo. When you want to hear effects all over the place, and that was how I thought about it. And I thought, especially Pink Floyd, but no. When the mono finally resurfaced, I immediately preferred the mono. Same with Sgt. Pepper. I never play the stereo anymore. I love the mono. I was curious if that would be the case with this. And this is, let's start with this. This is Steve Hoffman's DCC Stereo edition of this record. And when I bought this, I remember listening to it once and being kind of, it's okay, you know? My system was different at that time. It was like years before I played it again. And I've never been particularly impressed with it. And now I realize it's probably the stereo mix, because I admire Steve Hoffman's work in general. And he always produces a beautiful, natural sounding record. And this one, I guess the tape was just tired, or the mix is just bad. And it is bad. The mix on the stereo is awful, in my opinion. Any advantages of stereo are kind of wasted. It has a few stereo effects, like a bongo over here, a tambourine over here, a lot of empty space on some tracks like Today. But the voices sound mashed together. They don't have any separation. The whole, what should be a kind of a interesting soundstage, if it's stereo, it's kind of papered onto the speakers. It's flat, it's tinny, it doesn't have a lot of bass. It's AM transistor radio sounding to me. It's probably the best that Steve could do with this tape, but it really is lacking, I think. And I thought, well, maybe the mono could sound better. And from all reports, it did. So I picked up the stereo. And I'm sorry, the mono MOFi. Now, I have been a little critical of MOFi in recent reviews. The last two I did for MOFi were CSN, One Step, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and I just couldn't get enthused about that. I thought it was a failure. And then the Elvis and Memphis One Step, again, sounded pretty good, but there was quality control issues, terrible, and they're still being resolved. I'm on my third set. It's on the way to me. The third set is going to be hand inspected. So they said, if this is not going to please you, we're refunding you. And I'm like, fine, okay. I am not a huge Elvis and Memphis fan. I like it. I wanted a great copy. I ordered that one. And if they can come through with flat and centered pressings, I will be happy to have that one. But I like $60 45s, $40 33s in an original jacket, and that's what you get with this. Excuse me. So this is one of their 45s. I have it in a Vinyl Storage Solutions Frankenstein sleeve. So 2 sleeves put together, 1 record there, 1 record there. After playing Steve's version, I put on Kreig's version, and wow, I was like, oh my God, finally there's some clarity in this record. It was like I basically focused on disc 1, the first side. So I'm going to talk mostly about those tracks, but right from the beginning, I could tell there was clarity and a better sense of space. It's got the mono signal, but you can tell a lot of care went into creating the space for the elements in their own way in the back and forth picture of the mono. It sounds better spatially than the stereo does. It has depth, it has dynamics. Oh boy, does it have dynamics. Actually, when you get to the second cut, Somebody to Love, it just leaps out of the speakers. And on the Hoffman version, it was kind of there. and kind of like not too exciting. And that track really needs to pop, and it pops on this in a good way. So many times I've criticized MOFi for emphasizing detail too much or creating an artificially hi-fi sheen on things. And this one, it's perfect. I think it's perfect considering the source. Now, this is never going to be a hi-fi audiophile recording, but what they did with this is amazing. Grace's vocal just soars. It just soars out, and you hear everything clearly. Those drum hits on the first song, like boom, 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 and the tambourine on Stay, they still occupy that space back there, but everything's in clear detail. Clarity is off the charts. Beautiful, beautiful. I am so thrilled with this. Somebody to Love is a standout naturally. This was their second album. So Grace did Somebody to Love in her previous band, which was the great, what was it called? The Great Society. Sorry. Yeah, and this is a different version, but it is better than I've ever heard it, for sure. Ever heard it. Also, White Rabbit. So White Rabbit used to come at the end of the side, and now it has much more space on the 45, and that vocal is just incisive and strong and powerful, and just gives you goosebumps everywhere. I am so thrilled. Even the other tracks. Now, this album, some people say, okay, those are the only strong tracks, but it's not really true. The other band members get to shine a little more on the other tracks. Today is just gorgeous. A beautiful sound from that. Very spare and lonely. There's a wonderful instrumental on the second disc called Embryonic Journey. It's a guitar instrumental, and it sounds spectacular on the on the MOFi. Just a magnificent job, a really good job. It sounds like Kreig didn't tinker too much, he didn't over tinker it. And that's what I like about this particular MOFi. It sounds straight ahead, but better, enhanced. And in no way does it sound pushy or artificial or anything like that. It sounds totally natural. The bass is extended a little deeper. The dynamics are a little better, and the clarity is off the charts. It's a big win for MOFi. It has redeemed my opinion of them, and I'm so excited about this record. I hope that you get to try it and that it's repressed, because it's deserving of some praise. And Mazzy was right. I'm thrilled with it. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Scott for The Pressing Matters. Let me know what you think about Surrealistic Pillow in mono. I think it's the way to go, and I'm very, very happy that I got persuaded to pick up this version. So until next time, I'm Scott for The Pressing Matters. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.